All right, Archons, it is time for another edition of Groundbreaking Discovery here on Cull the Weak. I'm Brobnar89, and let's get into this deck. What have we got today? Oh, is this an evil twin, it looks like? No, it's just dark. Okay. Let's get the focus correct here. This is Bronzefoil, the Cannoneer. Bronzefoil, the Cannoneer. Okay, cool. All right, we got dinosaurs, we got fish, and we got thieves. Using the unofficial house names for Saurian, Unfathomable, and Shadows. I really like this little tentaclid Archon too. That's pretty cool. Little octopi squid type thing goes well with the fish. All right, let's see what we got. Starting off with Diplomacy. It's a perfect place to start because it is in fact an alpha. Until the start of your next turn, each creature gains before fight, exalt this creature. This is one that I have not seen a lot, despite it being around in a couple of sets. It is a rare, and it's just a weird one, right? I don't think it's like, you're not going to see a lot of this in high level play because it's just strange. Like, I don't know. How often are you like, oh, I'm going to like make fighting slightly more inconvenient for my opponent on their next turn? It's weird. It's usually just an Amber Pip, right? Bestialiri Urso. So 5 power, 1 armor, play / reap. You may unstun a creature. Hopefully we have some of those creatures that enter play stunned to make this really useful here. Berry Rich is a very fun card. If the tide is high, move 1 amber from each creature to its controller's pool. Otherwise, raise the tide. Okay, so... Oh, sorry about that. Really nice pairing with Diplomacy, right? So this is the first time that I've seen a card that a combo that have been like, oh, Diplomacy could actually be pretty cool here. If you have a bunch of Saurians on the board and you play this, and then you fight them, and then you play Berry Riches, that could be like, you could make some moves there. Now, of course, you're going to have a very specific situation where you've already got dinosaurs on the board, and then you've got both of those cards in the hand. So, and without any logos to sort of set that up, that might be a little bit challenging, but it is a thought. Gladiodontus. So this one enters play stunned. So we're happy to see that with the Urso, the bear thing. It deals 5 damage when it's fighting. It's 15 power. It's a mutant. If it's the first time Gladiodontus has been used this turn, ready and enrage it. So you get to basically use it twice, but one time has to be for fighting. Pretty cool. Consul Primus, of course, moves Amber around from one creature to another. Very nice to see. Crushing Charge, destroy each creature with power 4 or lower, gain 1 chain. Nice little board wipe here. Can get a lot of work done. Decadence, choose 1, exalt ready, and use a friendly creature, or move 1 amber from a creature to another creature. Again, this is going really nicely with Berry Riches, and Consul Primus goes nicely with the Berry Riches as well. Move an amber from your opponent's side to your side, and then Berry Riches. That's pretty cool. Lapiosaurus, 4 power, 2 armor, taunt creature, and enemy creatures exalt before they fight into it. Ostracize, lose 1 if you do purge a creature. Very nice card. Reach Advantage. If the tide is high, a friendly creature captures 3. Otherwise, raise the tide. Excellent. Spoils of Battle. Ooh, this is exciting. A friendly creature captures 1. Each creature with amber on it captures 1 from its opponent. So this will go very nicely with Berry Riches. You can just get another creature to add amber onto it, and then, you know, you're capturing a bunch and then removing some of that capture. So that's pretty cool. If we have City State in here as well, we will be in a very good situation. I think we won't, though, because I think it's alphabetical. I don't know. Venator Altum. Yeah, I don't think we're going to have City State. 7 power, 2 armor. After its stealth damage, if the tide is low, exalt Venator Altum. Again, nice to have with Berry Riches. Okay, so this looks like a pretty neat Dino's house. I don't know how viable it actually is to have sort of some of these Berry Riches plays, but there's enough ways to set it up that I don't think you're necessarily going to get like the huge Berry Riches play every time, but I think you're going to get some value out of it every time. Right? Like you've got Consul Primus, you've got Decadence, you've got Reach Advantage, you've got Spoils of Battle, you've got Venator Altum, and you've got Diplomacy. So there's lots of ways to get Amber onto your critters, and then you can hit the Berry Riches and get value from it. So I think that'll be pretty fun. Blatant Thievery. Play enrage an enemy creature, move all amber from that creature to your pool. Pretty cool. Nice to set up the Berry Riches, like get the amber off of your opponent's creature, and then on your next turn you Berry Riches so that they don't get any. Hand Cannon. This creature gains skirmish and fight. Move one amber from the creature. This creature fights to your pool. Okay, this deck cares a lot about amber on creatures. Very interesting. Trickle Down Theory. This is such a fun card. Play Raise the Tide. Omni, gain one if your opponent has 6 or more. It's just a constant like, oh, hey, you want to forge? Well, I'm going to gain amber if you forge. And it's Omni, so you can use it any turn. So, 2? That is really good. That is really, really good. Anytime your opponent goes to check, you like no matter what house you choose, you get to gain 2 amber. That's so good. Wow. Cement Shoes. Lots of tide control in this deck. Play, deal 2 damage to a creature. This damage destroys that creature. Raise the Tide. It's got an amber pip on it. Gas Pipes Malone. Before fight, the creature Gas Pipes Malone fights, captures 1 from its own side. Goes so well with the Hand Cannon. I know. It just makes it into like whatever that creature is that's a skirmisher that's fight steal 1, but it's cool. I like it. So you put the Hand Cannon on Gas Pipes Malone. Before fight, it captures 1 from its own side, and then you move 1 from that creature to your pool. So it's basically a long way to steal an amber. A second Gas Pipes Malone gonna really increase the chances that you get that to trigger. Hard Simpson, of course, is the card that when the tide is high, you steal 1 if it takes damage. So we'll see if we have some pinging damage to make that worthwhile. Hornswoggle, use an enemy artifacts as if it were yours. A second Hornswoggle, okay. Wow, 3 Hornswoggles is probably too many. I mean, like, how many artifacts does your opponent have? If you have 3 of these in hand at once, it's like, okay, you got 3 pips, like, which is, 3 amber is great, but I'd probably rather have some different cards in there. Shoulder Id, okay. A little bit of protection. What do we want to protect? I don't know. Gas Pipes Malone, maybe. It's not that great. Probably Consul Primus would be good for protection. Yeah, not a ton of creatures that you really need to protect here. Maybe we'll have some high value creatures like a Cowp or something like that in Untamed or an Unfathomable. Let's go ahead and take a look. Starting off with Killigog's Trench is an artifact. This is a weird one. At the end of your turn, place 1 depth counter on Killigog's Trench, then destroy each creature with power equal to the number of depth counters on Killigog's Trench. Very Keyforge. Very, very Keyforge. Just kind of like, is this going to work out better for me or for my opponent? You kind of have to guess based on, I don't know, like the power of your creatures. We have, not so far anyway, not a ton of low power creatures, so it might be worth playing it. It's really hard to say. I think it'll depend on the matchup. Abandon Ship. I like this one a lot. Return a creature to its owner's hand. If the tide is high, return 4 creatures to their owner's hands instead. Nice way to just mess with your opponent's board state, really slow them down. There's a Cowp. Very nice. 2 power. Your opponent cannot play more than 1 card of each card type. Action, artifact, creature, upgrade each turn. So really just, yeah, like solid disruption, must address card with a couple of taunters in the deck. That'll get some good value. Sleep with the Fishies. Destroy each exhausted creature. This one comes with a capture pip on it. Pretty neat. A second Sleep with the Fishies. Wow. Hopefully we have some things that will exhaust so that we can make value out of those. There you go. Valukanth will do it. While the tide is low, Valukanth cannot be used. Fight/reap. Exhaust an enemy creature and each of its neighbors. So you can exhaust those creatures and then you can hit Sleep with the Fishies. Of course, that will also take out your own Valukanth because it will be exhausted. So it's a little unfortunate. Wrath or Ruin. Choose one. Destroy a flank creature or return 2 enemy creatures to their owner's hand. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I like that card a lot. The bouncing is just so good. Really good way to just slow your opponent down, make them work harder. Bubbles, more disruption. Very nice. Put an enemy creature on top of its owner's deck. Very good play effect there. Flamegill Enforcer. After your opponent raises the tide in rage, Flamegill Enforcer action, capture 3. Horrid Cyan comes with some poison, 4 power. A second one of those. And Seabringer Kikoa is another taunter. Destroyed, raise the tide. Okay. Cool. So we've got some neat things going on in this deck. Yeah, so there's definitely like the neat dino play going on with the Berry Riches. There's definitely some fun in there. Double trickle down theory is going to be pretty cool. I like that a lot. And then some solid disruption out of Unfathomable here. I don't think the 2 Sleep with the Fishies, unfortunately, are not going to get too much done because there's just no way to. There's only one way to exhaust your opponent's creatures. Yeah, so unfortunately, some of these are just not going to pop off in a way that they could potentially and with some other cards in the deck. Let's go ahead and let's count Amber Pips because I don't think there's a lot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So not a ton. Yeah. It's you're gonna need to reap a lot. Let's count the creatures to see how viable that is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So yeah, okay number of creatures. You're going to need to make sure that you're reaping when you can to get a appropriate amount of amber for this game here. Now you do have some amount of stealing and of course 2 trickle downs. You in theory you can get a good amount of amber from that, but you don't have a lot of ways to stop your opponent from forging after using trickle down. So it'll, ideally they're at 6. You hit them with the 2 trickle downs and then you like fight with hand cannon, right? Fight your gas pipes alone with hand cannon into something so they go down to 5 and then you can use your trickle down on the next turn. But yeah, not a lot of amber control in this deck. Let's take a look at that next. Flamegill Enforcer, but it's slow and unreliable. Hard Simpson is really challenging to use in this deck. Only Cement Shoes can do direct damage in shadows. So yeah, very difficult to use. 2 Gas Pipes Malones. So that's 4 cards so far. Hand Cannon. 5, I guess. No, Hand Cannon doesn't count as amber control because it just moves it from a creature. So 4 cards. Spoils of Battle 5, reach advantage 6. Yeah, and that's it. So, it's going to be a challenge to keep your opponent off. Of course, you can use the trickle down theory on any turn because it's Omni. So, you could use it on your Dino's turn and then use reach advantage or spoils of battle to make to bring down their amber count. But yeah, it's going to be a little bit tricky to make that happen. If we're looking at board control here, we have 2 Horrid Scions. We have 2 Sleep with the Fishies, but I don't think they're going to do too much. Not a lot. We have Ostracize, Crushing Charge, and yeah, that's it. So not a ton in terms of board control, but if we look at like Disruption, we've got Bubbles 1, Ratharan 2, Valkoon 3, 4, Abandoned Ship. Oh, I didn't count this too, Kilgog's Trench, but it's so like finicky, right? So we have like at least 4 cards that can do some disruption too. So, yeah, I think you're going to want to try to make, don't try too hard for the giant Berry Riches play, but you're going to need to get some value off of Berry Riches to generate enough amber. You can mess with your opponent a bit with the fish, slow them down. Make sure Kaup is safe behind some taunt so that they have their challenge to get rid of it. Mess with their board state with the Abandoned Ship and Wrath or Ruin, so kind of make it harder for them to take care of Kaup. And then hopefully you can generate enough amber with stuff like the Trickle Down Theory or Berry Riches to get yourself past the finish line before your opponent gets there, because yeah, just not a ton of amber generation here, but definitely some neat tricks that look like they would be fun to try out. This has been another edition of Groundbreaking Discovery here on Cull the Weak. I'm Brobner89, and I will catch you next time.